So today we're going to be talking about bar graphs. We're going to learn what they are and how we can make one. So what is a bar graph? A bar graph is a graph that uses rectangular boxes to show a value. And these boxes can be either horizontal or vertical. So here is an example of a horizontal bar graph. The bars go from left to right in a horizontal fashion. In a vertical bar graph, the bars go up and down in a vertical fashion. So why do we use a bar graph? We use a bar graph to help us visualize information. We gain information from a survey, and then we put it out there in a bar graph so that we can easily see information about what the most common answer was or what the least popular answer was, and we can use it to compare information. So if I wanted to figure out if more people liked comedies or dramas, I could use a bar graph to help me see that. We can also use it to track changes over time. So if I wanted to figure out how many apples were bought in 2008 versus how many apples were bought 10 years later in 2018, I could use a bar graph to see that change. So how do we make a bar graph? We're going to make a bar graph based on what people said their favorite pet was. Our options were dog, cat, hamster, and fish. So first we have to look at our data. I see that we have our 4 options and that 11 people said that they liked dog, 6 people said cat, 1 person said hamster, and 5 people said fish. So I'm going to look that dog is the largest number with 11 people. So now we have to set up our graph. The first thing we have to do when we set up a graph is we have to put our title. The title tells the person who's reading the graph what they're going to learn from the graph. So for this graph, we're learning about what the favorite type of pet is. So that's our title. Next, we have to number our axis. I remember that 11 people said dog, and that was the largest, most popular answer. So I made mine go all the way up to 12 so that 11 would fit on there. Next, we have to put the different responses down at the bottom. So dog, cat, hamster, and fish all need to be right there. Now we have to make the bars. So we're just going to look at the dog bar right now. So in order to make that bar, we go over to the dog, and I know that there were 11 people that said dog, so I start making my rectangle, and I go all the way up until I hit 11. And then that is my bar for dogs. I would do the same for cat, hamster, and fish. And then once we do that, we can read our graph. And as you can see, the dog has the largest bar, which means it was the most popular answer. And the hamster has the smallest bar, which means it was the least popular answer. Now that we know how to make that, it's going to be your turn to make it. We're going to ask our own questions and conduct our own surveys so that we can make our own bar graphs.